Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? How is everybody feeling? Thank you for tuning in to another Mojo Mondays. Today it's all about the sense of self. Now, if you notice, well, for one, those of you who've been following my Instagram, my Facebook, you already know. You already know because that's what primarily I post about is self-care, self-love. And the thing about it is some people have this idea that when you are taking care of yourself too much, that you're going to come off a certain way. And at the end of the day, think whatever you want to think. It's your mind, it's your idea. But the thing about it is, to me, it wouldn't make sense. You have to take care of yourself because, in my mind, how are you going to take care of anything else? Now for me, it can be a little different, and I'm sure other people can relate to this because I like to have a routine. That's how I thrive. And without a routine, I can't even think about what will happen because I am such a routine person. And the thing about it is that for some people, it can be stressful. And to some degree, yeah, I can see why that is. However, it helps me stay on track. But because I know that about myself, I know that because I have a sense of myself, I know I have to be on a routine. And when you have a sense of self, you can identify who you are, what you want, what you need. And a lot of people can't do that. Having a sense of self is not it's not common sense. Even common sense isn't common. We can all agree with that. We can all agree with that, right? But having your sense of self, it takes practice just like anything. It takes patience, but believe it or not, it takes alone time. Now, I can't speak for everyone else. And the thing about this, with anything that you research, watch, read, remember, it is to help expand your mind, to expand the horizon. But at the end of the day, you have to create the knowledge from within. And again, it all involves with your sense of self. Only you know yourself deep down if you're not afraid to get to those layers of getting to know yourself. There's a lot of people walking around with all these different roles and identities, a lot of people who are comfortable in those roles and identities. And this is not to take away from them. This is for those people who they don't know which direction to go in life. They might feel lost or confused. And I found oftentimes, I know at least when I was feeling that way, especially in my 20s, I'm 39 now, but in my earlier 20s, just being lost, confused, I didn't quite know myself as much, obviously, being that young, but also I was in roles. I was in a toxic relationship and catering to that person and ultimately losing myself in the process. And I've gained a lot of weight back then. So if you've been following me for a long time, you've been on this journey with me where I had gained some weight and then I started to really focusing on taking care of myself. All the energy that I was putting into school and relationships and work, I was really focusing on matching that same energy in my self-care because I was depleting myself. And I noticed at that time, because I was depleting myself, I began going into a dark place. My life at that time wasn't as fulfilling, and I felt more sheltered in. I felt like I was on the schedule of things that I did not want to do. The only escape really for me was school and working out once I started that program. And I think over time, that's why I became so passionate about health and fitness because it got me out of that dark place. It got me out of roles that no longer served me at that time. And it welcomed a new sense of self. It welcomed new opportunities because of my new sense of self. And it allowed me to help others. And that's why I wanted to share this message, this video, this podcast, however you're listening or watching. And this is for anyone. This is not necessarily an age thing or anything. And I say this because I've had clients who are much more mature, retired, and they didn't really have a sense of self. And that's why I say it's not really an age thing. It's a phase thing. And everyone goes through their own phases at different times in their lives. We're all not going to be on the same phase, the same path, the same journey. Think about it. Just think about it. Imagine we're all on the same path, the same journey, and we're just like, you know, for one, that to me that would be weird. If we were to all look the same, all be on the same path. It's given, what is that movie called? Stepford Wives. It's given I Robot. And the thing is, we already have zombies walking around here. That's a whole nother topic. But we're not meant to all be the same. So, with that being said, there's going to be different phases of your life, but it's important to get to know yourself during each of those phases. Your phases or your journey is going to look different, and that's okay. It's not meant to look like anyone else's. But you can look at someone else and be inspired by that. And to be honest, I am just so grateful in my current lifetime where I'm around people who are supportive, whereas in my 20s, it was completely opposite. I was around more jealous people. I dated someone who was jealous of me. They did not like my progress. And looking back, it's like, well, this is why we're not getting along. I'm going this way, you're not going. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to make anyone do anything they're not comfortable with, obviously. But at the same time, I'm not going to hinder my progress because I know myself. So when you know yourself, you start to break out of certain habits. You stop hanging out with certain people. You start gravitating towards different types of hobbies. You start gravitating towards different types of people. You start becoming more interested in learning about yourself. And you start spending a lot more time alone. And to be honest with you, I've learned more about myself being by myself. So if you've noticed, every now and then I'll hang out with my friends. We'll have different music events and stuff like that. But there's also times where I'm by myself. I'll take myself out on solo dates, and I've been doing that since I've turned 30. So it's been 9 years since I've been, because before it's like, I don't want to go to the restaurant by myself. I'm a little shy. I don't know. I'm a little scared to do that. And then of course when you're around your people, it's different, the vibe is different, and of course you want to share experiences with your people, with your loved ones, but you don't have to. Not everyone's going to be available on certain things that you may want to do. People do their own things, and that's fine, but that doesn't mean that you should stop. So look at your sense of self as having a relationship with yourself. And I think that's what's super, super important. We have all these things that we're tending to, and then with us, we might just do the most basic things like, okay, get up, get ready, go to work, get up, get ready. Our bodies, our minds, our energy has to be available to a certain person or object or subject, or like match that same energy to yourself. Match that same energy and really discover who you are. But the thing is too, we got to be careful because we have social media, we have all these things distracting us, where we tend to lose ourselves because we're so concentrated on other things. So I find that when you are working on yourself and really connecting to your sense of self, be careful with what you are consuming. Okay, and I'm not just referring to diet, but consuming as far as what you're watching, who you're, what the stuff that you're receiving, the people that you're engaging with, the different types of energies they have, and honestly too, do some hobbies. I find that there's a lot of adults that are not doing enough hobbies. And how do you really know who you are if there's no creative outlets? You have to have some type of creativity in some way. Everyone's creativity is going to be different. Are you into fashion? Do you like to paint, draw? Do you like to cook? Do you like to act? Are you funny? Do you like comedy? Whatever your creative outlets are, cater to those, and even challenge yourself with trying a new hobby, with trying something different. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and talk about the importance of your sense of self and really allowing yourself to connect with it. And don't become the world. There's so much stuff that's going on. This is a good opportunity to really connect with yourself, connect with others who you can relate to, and really get into your creative outlets